What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Radioactive. Today, Ian and I are joined by Andrew from Felicity. How are you doing today?
What's up? I'm great. Here with my co-host Jules. He loves if I'm on Zoom calls, he has to be part of it.
Don't all
You know,
animals, though, all animals always
yeah.
have to be
Oh
involved.
yeah.
We just wanted to start off by asking you to tell us a little bit about your band, what genre you guys play, where you guys from, just stuff like that. Anything you would want our viewers to know.
Sure, yeah. Well, we are based out of Orlando, Florida, in the United States, since I know some of you are Canadian. I would say our genre is a genre we created ourselves, which we call trash rock, which is what we like to call just like a little bit of all rock music. It's like we describe it as if you put every genre of rock music into a trash can and shook it up and dumped it out because we do a little bit of everything. We do a little bit of pop punk. We do a little bit of hard rock, a little bit of just straightforward rock music. We even just did our newest song. We consider our first new metal song. We just do a little bit of everything as far as rock music goes. So we try not to like kind of box ourselves in, but yeah, we call ourselves trash rock, the first ever trash rock band.
I really enjoy listening to you guys because you go from one song, like you said, it's more pop punk, but then you go to another one, like, I don't know, like The Weather is kind
Hmm.
of more into the pop punk, and then you have like
Yeah,
Mode that's kind of more like the rock metalcore kind of maybe.
yeah. Yeah, more kind of like radioactive rock. We have songs that we feel like are more just like pop punk songs, and then some more that could be like a serious octane kind of more active rock song. And we just that's kind of just based on just what we grew up listening to. And when I was growing up, I was listening to Limp Bizkit and Rage Against the Machine as much as I was listening to Blink-182. So when we go to write music, we just never know what's going to come out, and we just never want to limit ourselves and say like, "Oh, this doesn't sound like us." We kind of just want to say like, "Us is whatever we say. Us is whatever we say it is." So we just kind of just don't let that limit ourselves, and our producer luckily embraces that and encourages it as well, and pushes us through that too. And it helps us in a lot of ways, have a very eclectic group of fans too. Some people's favorite songs are kind of our heavier songs, and some people discover us. A lot of people just discover us from The Weather and just kind of roll with us from there, and then they end up getting into some of our heavier stuff too. But it's also a lot of fun because we also get to play shows with, like, we get to play a really eclectic group of shows too. Sometimes we're like the heaviest band on the lineup, and then sometimes we're like the least heavy band on the lineup, which is opens up us up to a lot of opportunities as well, which is a lot of fun. And then we all grew up listening to like classic emo music as well, so like all early 2000s emo music and stuff. So I say that's kind of like the throughput is where that is, because I feel like if you go to like an emo night, a classic emo night, you'll hear everything from like Silverstein and Day to Remember and Pierce the Veil and Bring Me to the Horizon, and but you'll also hear like Simple Plan and Good Charlotte, which is in Blink-182, which is like that's kind of like what we all grew up listening to, all that music. So like that's kind of like the throughput of Felicity is kind of like a more modern version of all of that kind of mixed together. So that's kind of where we came from and the music that we make.
So that's kind of like a perfect segue into our next question here for you. So is there okay, we'll do three. So are there three bands in particular that you say you would pull inspiration from?
I would say the bands that inspire us the most, as far as like collectively, all of us together, um, would be I'd say one that just like we all really um look up to, and as far as like a band, not necessarily even just musically inspire us, but just a band that we all looked up to and inspired to be, would be a band like Papa Roach, just because of their um what they mean to rock music, how they've been around for going on probably honestly going on 40 years now, but definitely more than 30 years. Their staying power, the relevancy to the scene, the music, how they continue to reinvent themselves, how they just write, song after song after song, and they're never afraid to push their own boundaries as musicians. As far as like if you listen to like their entire catalog of kind of like changing slightly genre to genre while still making just like rock music, and kind of never being afraid to change with the times as well. They're never just like going around, like they're not the band that's just going around like playing the anniversary album of their like biggest album. Like they constantly have new albums out that are topping the charts. And they're constantly like working with younger artists and collabing with younger artists because they're still cool and relevant. And then honestly, just like songwriting wise, we look up to them a ton as far as like the songwriting they do. And because none of them are just like amazing virtuosos at their instruments, they just gotten by on the fact that they're amazingly talented musicians and songwriters while never having to like blow you away individually with what they do. Like no one in their band is Sinister Gates or Travis Barker or Freddie Mercury, right? Like they're all just like awesome, rock solid, amazing. It's about their chemistry and them as a group versus like any individual member of the band like being one standout member, which is we love. That's one band that's like really means a lot to us. It's also a band that we've gotten to see a bunch of times together as a band that we've looked up to. So it's always been a big experience for us whenever we have to see with Papa Roach, or if we got to play the same festival as Papa Roach and got to meet them backstage. That's been really cool too.
So that's happened before then?
Yeah, that has happened before. Yes. Yeah, we got to play with them, and I think it was like 2018. We got to play a festival with them, and we were obviously like very, very early on in the day, and they were much later on in the day. But it was one of the lucky experiences where we got on the festival because we won a contest to be like a regional support act, and we're like one of the first two bands that played in the day. And then but the rest of the day we were kind of treated as just like regular artists. And we got to like go to regular artist catering, and Papa Roach was in artist catering, and we met them backstage, and they were super nice, humble guys, and got to watch them their entire set side stage. And one thing we all remember is they were all like about to go on stage, or like right before they were about to go on for their set, and they all kind of like do this like big group huddle, like they were doing this like hype up chant thing. They all like were huddled up together, and they all just had like the biggest smiles on their face, and they were just so excited to go out. And I remember looking at like later that day at their like tour schedule, and they were like 2.5 months into a 3-month tour, and they were probably on show like 60 something in a row. And like they were like, it looked like it was their first show ever, right? Like they were just so excited to go out there. And most of those guys are all the original members, and they're not jaded one single bit. They still treat every show like it's the first show they've ever played, and they were so excited to go out there and do their thing. And so it's truly humbling to see a band to this day that's still doing it for the love of the game. Like they're still doing it, and they still have their hearts in it, and they're so excited to do it. So that was awesome. And those guys were super cool, always super humble, and was awesome to meet them backstage and have that moment with them. Another band that we look up to, and I guess really musically, and because just close knit growing up, and being a band here in Central Florida, would be A Day to Remember. And I guess sound wise, like we compared to them a lot just because they do a lot of kind of like they have pop punk, but they also have heavier music. And then they're even with their newer albums, like they're doing like pop songs, and they're collaborating with like acts like Marshmello, and they're not afraid to kind of push boundaries musically. And as their career keeps going, they seem to keep pushing more and more into different elements. And so that's always a band that we've looked up to a ton, and we've been able to watch really closely being in Central Florida. Watch like a band them come up, because I think when we started this band was right before Common Courtesy came out, their album Common Courtesy, which is kind of right when they like really made it really big. So we kind of got to watch them go from like this like regionally kind of like known band to become like a superstar band, and watch a band just do it the right way, and watch their kind of success rise. And so that's always been a band that's been a big inspiration to us, not only just musically, but like just watching them do their thing. I'd say the last one that all of us really kind of are big musically inspired by, man, it's really tough. Those ones are definitely up there. I would say Silverstein's probably one. Silverstein is a band that like we all really are into. And then I would say one last one that's kind of more recent that we're all really, really fanboys of is Beartooth. Like we're all massive Beartooth supporters. Like they're the same way. Like they can make a great rock song as much as they can make like a heavy like hardcore song. And do both great. So those kind of like probably the big ones for us.
All right. Now that Damien's joined us, perfect timing because we were just about to start talking about your guys' new single, Kill 'Em All. Can you guys tell us a little bit about this song and how the response has been for it so far?
The response has been pretty insane, to be honest. From the start of all our songs, we've been increasing like with streams. I think Levitate had 10,000. God Mode had 20,000 in the first week. Emo Trash had 30,000. She's Nuclear hit 35. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Drew, it was around 38,000 for Kill 'Em All.
Yeah, over 38,000. We almost had, I think we had 40, but we'll see.
I thought it was 40 as well. But like still, that's a great response for like that song. And honestly, this was like a ton of fun to do in the studio. We wanted like a high energy track, something that was going to be really fun playing live. And the response has been great. Everyone's enjoyed it. And it's basically a diss track out there as well, if you listen to the lyrics as well. And Discrepancies, having them go on the second verse as well, really like added that rap rock element that we really wanted in this song. And other than that, everyone's been jamming it and they've been loving it. So like, I can't wait to play this live.
Who's the disc going out to? Are we allowed to say?
We can't. It's a secret. It's a band secret.
It is.
If it was someone famous, we might leak it, but since it's someone local, we'll keep it under wraps.
Okay. So is it like in the rap?
It's a band personal thing.
Band personal?
Yeah. But the band Discrepancies, by the way, another St. Louis band. You gotta check them out. Local to St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Discrepancies is featured on the track, and they absolutely murdered it. They're awesome.
He killed it. Antonio.
Good shit. So, oh wait a minute. Did you guys touch on the recording process? Yeah, I think you did, right?
I don't think not too. I mean, we recorded it. We recorded like a whole bunch of songs. We started recording this whole batch of songs, honestly, in 2021. So we've been working on these songs for a long time. Kill 'Em All, I don't know where it really came along in the process. It was definitely started in 2021 in the first batch of songs we did. But we've been working on them nonstop for the last 2 years. And we really like just all of us growing up in the childs of the 2000s wanted a new metal song. Like my favorite band of all time is Limp Bizkit. No shame there. But all the guys love, Rage Against the Machine and Korn, System of a Down.
Papa Roach.
POD, Papa Roach. We all grew up listening to like when you could make rap rock and metal, and we had never done it, and we really wanted to challenge Damien to see if he could do it. And I think this was the first rap rock song we did, and he crushed it bad. We did more. We did at least one or two more of them. So we got a couple more of these kind of like new metal-y rap rock songs on the way, which are a lot of fun to make. Honestly, they're super fun to write and make, and it's probably easy to track because you don't have to like sing and stress yourself out. You just gotta remember.
No. Yes, but you can you can add some like elements that you don't normally do when you're singing, which I think is like the coolest part. You can add some like nuances, and honestly, like to have like to do this live is just going to be incredible. Just like first off, I gotta memorize Discrepancies part, and he really killed it. So that's going to be a challenge, but it's also going to be really fun. So this was one of the first ones out of all the rap rock songs that we kind of started to write. So this one definitely has a special place in my heart. And well, you'll have to see. There's a couple more coming out that have this kind of feel, and you guys will have to let me know which ones you dig the most.
So kind of like a from ashes to new kind of thing.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Definitely has that vibe. Definitely has that vibe for sure.
There's a lot of bands doing it. Like we're from Orlando, Central Florida, and we've come up with a band like Magnolia Park, and they've been doing a bunch of it lately, kind of like the heavier new metal stuff. But even like Falling Reverse, like Ronnie's been doing it for a decade, and even like Watch the World Burn has some like insane verses on it. It was cool in the studio watching us getting to watch Damien, because normally our producer, if he's yelling at Damien, it's like, oh, you got to hit this note right, or you got to like do this note or melody right. But this time it's like, no, you gotta have that, you gotta add some swag to it, or you gotta like it was completely different notes when he's doing like recording a rap verse versus our normal way of doing like the normal songs we would do, like a pop punk song or a metal song, or if he's like screaming a part. It was like a completely new way of critiquing it. Like, no, we can make that like swaggier kind of.
Sure.
But it was fun.
Yeah, dude, I'm not the Victoria and I aren't necessarily the biggest fans of rap. Like, I kind of grew up around it because all my friends were a bunch of stoners who liked listening to Rick Ross, Wiz Khalifa, Juicy J. But I mean, the old school rap is what gets me going. This new age rap's kind of like, but I like hearing it incorporated in rock, especially with Falling in Reverse. Falling in Reverse does rap and rock so well. It's
100%.
it's really creative.
Yeah.
Like, probably the most creative music video I've seen in a while was Watch the World Burn.
Mm-hmm.
There was so much going on there.
Absolutely.
They honestly, that band just kills it with their music videos as well. Like, that's just like in a world where you feel like not a lot of bands like pay attention to like the music video side of things. Like, I feel like Falling in Reverse definitely does it justice, and like it makes other bands like also like say, oh, let's see if we could step up our game. I mean, we definitely don't have that budget, but like we could try and get as creative and close to it as we can within our means.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of budget, Victoria, with your permission, could I add like a little tidbit in here, like a little question?
Yes.
So I've been curious, and we asked, I don't remember who we asked about this, but what does a budget kind of look like for an up and coming band such as yourself? You know, you guys are getting pretty big, you're getting up there. And I'm curious, like, let's face it, the economy is shot, inflation's going up, living on your own is scary. But I'm curious, I want to know, what's that process kind of like of working full time and kind of balancing that lifestyle with being a rock star traveling on the road? What's that like?
That first off, that's a freaking amazing question, because like you don't really get asked that. And growing up, like being a musician in it now, and having done this for like a couple of years, like I always wanted to know that answer too. Like, it was like, how does it work? What do you do? Can you just leave your job and not have any like means of income coming in and just like do the band? And like for me, like growing up, I like, in order for us to like fund a lot of these things, it's like important for us to like have some type of income coming in, because the band, like you said, it's still like at that level it's like almost there, might get to like that next level, and I believe we will, but right now we have to like also make sure that we're funding a lot of this stuff. So a lot of us like have full-time jobs, and but in the meantime we're like basically making sure that we make our music a full-time job as well. So basically like we're working and we're putting out music simultaneously. So it's I feel like gone are the days like where you're like, I'm just gonna like not work and I'm just gonna be a musician. I just feel like those days are gone, kind of, because we're moving to more of a digital age, and like everything you have to see, you have to like put money behind. And I'm not saying that we definitely like are a modest band. We're really humble. We don't have tons of money, so like we do our best with what we have, and we try and be smart with it, with our budget and things like that. But we definitely all have full-time jobs, but our hope is that music could be our full-time job one day. So right now we're doing these jobs that we may not want to do, but we're doing it with the purpose to like fund our dream and our goal, which is to ultimately be a huge rock band one day and tour and just do that and not have to do anything else.
Yeah. It's really just figuring out we've really figured out kind of careers that allow us some type of flexibility as well, like finding jobs that either are easy to like pick up and put down, or have flexibility with time off, or that you can do from the road. Is really what it comes down to, and that's kind of where we're at right now, where like Damien and a couple guys in the band have long periods of the year where they get time off already. And then some of the guys in the band like work remote. Look, I work from home 24/7. As long as I kind of have my laptop, I can kind of work from the road. So in the past, if we've been on tour, just working from the road. And then when it comes to money, it's just, we believe in this so much. We invest heavily into the band, and then every dollar we make from the band goes right back into it. None of us have ever taken a single penny from the band. And we get to a point where the band fund has like a good amount of money into it, and we're super proud, and we immediately invest that into a new merch launch or something like that, because that just can kind of reinvest into something else to give the fans to reinvest into it, or invest into advertising to build the fan base. Or honestly, just what's the most important thing right now is just constantly making more music. And so right now we have kind of we've invested pretty much all of the money we've generated as a band into recording more music. So we still have another probably 13 more songs that we haven't released yet, and we're going to go do another one this weekend, and plan on working on a couple more here going into next year. So
it's my guilty pleasure right there is merch.
yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, Jesus. Especially with the holidays coming up. I mean, my God, dude.
Exactly.
My mom and dad, man, anytime I come home from a show, they're like, oh God, what did Ian get now? Because he got something, either a shirt or a hoodie.
It's dangerous. It is, especially when you go to shows. Shopping online is one thing, but then when you're actually at a show, it's like, oh, well, I can't just leave without nothing.
Yes, it's the fact that you're at the show, you're supporting the band, but also like it's the memory. It's like when you buy something, you remember that you were there, and you're like, I got to do this. You just, because you never know. Sometimes bands break up, or like they don't tour for a long time. And I don't know. I feel like when I'm at the show, when I'm at a concert, like that's when I buy the most band merch. So I get you.
What do you guys have planned for the rest of this year? Because I know you mentioned you guys have some more songs recorded. Are you going to be releasing more? You're going on tour? Anything like that?
For the rest of this year, well, this weekend we are going to Los Angeles to record another song, and that's going to be, we don't know when that's going to be released, so we kind of have to see like when that gets resolved and everything like that. So we're really excited about that though. So we're going to be really busy this weekend, but we also have another surprise that we're going to release another song by the end of the year. It's definitely going to be like holiday kind of theme. We haven't said too much about it, but it should be a ton of fun. And we just recorded some videos for it and some content, I think last weekend or something like that. And so we got one more song coming out for you guys before the end of the year. And we are recording another song this weekend coming up. So that's basically it. And we're playing also December 16th in Orlando, the Emo Social Block Party with Hawthorne Heights, 408, Capstan, and a couple other great bands out there. So I think that's pretty much it. Drew, am I missing anything?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Usually towards then we kind of pack it in after the mid-December for the rest of the year, and we're going to come out rocking and rolling in 2024 with tons of new music. And then in March we're going to go on tour with Between You and Me, and we're going to do 4 dates with them, we're stoked because it's one of our like favorite bands, and anytime you get asked to go on tour with one of your favorite bands, it's much better than that. And then we're working on a few headline dates to get up to that tour. So that tour starts in Richmond, Virginia. We're in Orlando, Florida, so we're going to try to book some headline shows on the way there. So hopefully be on the road for about 2 weeks in this spring, which will be a lot of fun to get out there and play some cities we've never played before, and then play some cities we haven't played, honestly, since like 2019. So
Yeah.
It's been almost 4 years since we played a lot of these cities. So we have many fans that have discovered us from TikTok since then that we didn't even know we existed last time we played these cities. So we're really excited about that.
All right, time to throw you guys a little curveball here.
Interesting.
So we've heard a lot about some of the bands that you really look up to and pull inspiration from, but now we want to add a twist to this. So hypothetically speaking, right? And this is individual. So Andrew can answer and then Damien can answer. Form your dream band. So there's you and 4 other people in your band. Who do you want and why?
Oh man. Okay.
You want to go first, Damien?
No, you go first. Like,
okay.
I want to get this right. You go first.
Okay. All right. So, and Damien can't be in my band. I don't want to hurt his feelings. All right, Damien's not allowed to be in my band.
I can't. No, you can't be in your. You can't be in
my
band.
I'm just don't want to hurt your feelings. That's all. Okay. Okay, so all right, we'll start with the lead singer. Lead singer of my band. I'm going to go with I will go with this is tough. This is tough. I will go with I okay. I'm gonna go with drummer first. Let's get drummer out of the way. I will go. Is it? And they have to be alive. We have to go with alive.
Dead or live, actually. Make it interesting.
Okay?
Dead or live.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
Dead or alive. We'll just say like okay. So drummer. I will go with the Rev from Avenged Sevenfold because gone way too soon. He had so much more, and he also wrote music too. Wrote a lot of their music. And he was my favorite drummer of the past era. On the other my other guitar player playing with me, who's gonna try to just make me look really good. I will go with man, I will go with I have to go with Slash from Guns N' Roses. I'll just go Slash. And then for on bass, I will go with
This will be interesting. This will be interesting
because it's tough to really stand out on bass, you know. And there's like there is like the iconic bass players of all time, you know. I'll go with Cliff Burton from Metallica, rest in peace as well, who also wrote a lot of Metallica's early albums. Was the OG GOAT bass player, especially in all metal music. And then lead singer, I'm gonna go with Caleb Shomo.
Yeah.
that's a solid
Yeah.
that's a solid band. What is the band name though, real quick?
Chocolate Starfish and the hot chocolate flavored water.
Oh God. Jeez, that was really good. That was really good. Wow, I think I'm gonna go some like off the wall stuff right now. All right, so if I'm singing, then on drums I gotta go. I've always loved Morgan Rose from Seven Dust. I feel like he does some really interesting things on drums, so I'd probably go with Morgan Rose. And he sings back there too, which is really dope. So I would probably give it to Morgan Rose on drums. Then I'd go Cliff on bass, I think as well. Cliff, I think would be interesting. I'd go Cliff Burton on bass as well. I was thinking Flea, but then I was like, no, let me not take it too far. And then I think on guitar I would do. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of like man, this is a yeah. I want some interesting solos. So I'm gonna go Santana. I'm gonna go Carlos Santana on guitar, just to like write some spicy things out there because I've been listening a lot to him recently. So and then I'll have Andrew on rhythm.
No, I'm not allowed to. That's the good.
No. You can't choose my band.
Another drummer I was gonna say would be Brandon Saller from Atreyu. He's now the lead singer of Atreyu, but he used to play drums and sing in Atreyu. That would be a sick drummer to have because then you have basically a lead singer playing drums as well. He's badass. But
I was thinking him too, but then I was like, I always loved Morgan Rose, the feels he does.
I like that direction you went for sure.
But yes, that would be my band.
Band name.
Wow. What's it?
Prosthetic Soul.
Yeah,
it's got Carlos Santana in there, so it's got to be something groovy.
I think I'll go Prosthetic Soul, to be honest. I use that for like a lot of things, so yeah, I think I'd bring it back, Prosthetic Soul.
Yeah, my mom loves Santana, dude.
I mean, he literally, when you listen to like, especially the deeper tracks too, you're like, this man is insane. So like, I would love to see what he would do like on some heavier music. Like, it'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Just concerts in general. What are some of your guys' favorite concerts that you've been to?
I went to a couple. Okay, man, that's tough. I'm a big fan of Coin and Cambria. I was at 10-year anniversary tour of Second Stage Turbine Blade and Keeping Secrets of the Silent Earth, and I took Damien to, I think, Good Apollo. So I went to the 10-year anniversary, I think, of all three of those tours, which is those albums, which was no, Damien, we went to Keeping Secrets, the Keeping Secrets 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, that was one.
Or at House of Blues. So getting to go to the anniversary and hear those albums front to back I'm a big Cody and Cambria fan. That was awesome because when those albums came out, I was too little to even go see them in concert. And then honestly, like probably getting to see some seeing some like old school Warped Tours. Like I remember going to Warped Tour in like 2000 and probably like 2011 and just seeing like bands like Chiodos when they first broke and seeing the Used in their prime and seeing a lot of these bands who have just completely different lineups when they had like a lot of their original members and stuff like that. Like I think about that a lot, like going and see bands like Census Fail back when they had like members who were actually on the albums and stuff like that versus now when you go see some of these bands, it's like the lead singer and like hired guns. But back then you'd go to Warped Tour and you'd see like the band, and back then they were actually still all grinding it out as a band, like trying to make it. And now it's like you'll go see the band and it's like maybe just like the original lead singer and a bunch of guys that he's hired maybe to go on tour as the band. So those are great, but that's some of the coolest ones I've been to. I think the best concert I've ever been to though was I got to see Metallica a few years ago. And if you've never gotten to see Metallica, it's like even if any form of Metallica fan you are, it's like insane because it's like going to a small town amusement park, right? You'll have a good time, and then going to Disney World, like it's just different. Like going to Metallica concert is like going to Disney World. There's like pyro for every song, like even the Trinity Territory, the pageantry with the pyro and everything going on. Like Metallica was like going to WrestleMania, and I've been to WrestleMania. Metallica concert a few years ago was like they had full-on movies on these giant screens that were like 50 times the size of movie theater screens with actual actors. They're like A-list Hollywood actors that were just like starring in the movie that was going along to the Metallica just for that tour. They like filmed this scene that go along with like the song just for that. So that was like seeing Metallica, and the opening bands were Avenged Sevenfold and Volbeat, which was obviously also very sick too. So
true. That's when you're on a Volbeat kick.
I still love Volbeat. Volbeat's great.
Like you were showing me so many Volbeat songs. You're like, listen to this one, listen to this one. I was like, man, this is really good.
Did you just say Volbeat?
Songs. Yeah.
Volbeat is so slept on, dude.
Right?
Oh my god.
No, it's literally true. It's literally true.
They write great songs.
They do. I'm to be honest, man. Like you were showing me so many of them. I had heard them on the radio a few times, but you were like, check this out.
Yeah, they write great hits.
I think I would kind of like agree with you as well. Like the old school Warped Tour dates were just so iconic to me. When you could go from like stage to stage to stage to stage, I think that would have to be like my favorite concert experience because I discovered so many amazing bands. Like seeing Drew had told me about Bayside, and I had listened to a few songs, but when I watched them live at Warped Tour, it was just a totally another experience. It was absolutely insane. So, and then and from Bayside, I went to go watch Census Fail. Then I went to go watch Silverstein, and it was just absolutely incredible to like be in one place and just walk 10 feet or like 20 feet and get to the next concert, like with a packed house of all dedicated fans for the next show. So I think that would have to be like the most iconic, and my favorite like concert memories would have to be like early Warped Tour shows.
I will say definitely a different vibe, man. Like granted I only got to go to 2, but arguably like I discovered so many really good bands, and I also got to see some of my favorite bands. Like Falling in Reverse was one of them.
That's cool.
Ice Nine Kills, Black Veil Brides, Motionless in White. I don't
crazy
think,
lineup. Like
yeah,
right? Like, where else can you do that? Where else can
you're at that
pretty...
one in I think 2018 where it was July 2018 and Ice Nine Kills was on it, and it was I think Silver Scream didn't come out till October, but they were playing. Thank God It's Friday and American Nightmare at every day, and they were playing at like 11:30 a.m. in Orlando, and they had on the full on. He was wearing the Freddy Krueger sweater, and the guitar player was dressed up like Jason with a full body suit. And I remember we rushed in to see him, and it must have been 100 degrees already.
Yeah, it was.
Sun was down, and we went to I think 3 dates, and I was like, every single day we saw Ice Nine Kills because it was just such a good show. And now like they're nuclear famous. I mean,
they are
5 years. 5 years later, it's a totally different world. So
this is a trademarked question. God damn it! This is our question. Okay.
All right.
Victoria?
Yes, it is our question, and if anyone takes it, I can't really do anything about it. But just don't take it.
So here we go. Signature radioactive question. Initiate. Felicity is on tour. They are traveling across North America when suddenly, oh shit, tour bus breaks down, right? And they're stranded, but the only place of solace for the night is a haunted house. And once you guys get settled in, Felicity's chilling. They're just hanging out, getting ready to go to sleep, and then call the repairman in the morning, right? In comes a dead celebrity coming to haunt you until dawn. Here's the twist. You get to pick the dead celebrity haunting you. Individual answers only. Go.
Oh,
wow. Wow. I like this trademark question. So many twists. Let me see. The dead celebrity haunting me. This goes with musicians as well, right?
Yeah, anybody, I guess. Any dead celebrity. I think.
Would you like to hear the top answer?
No,
there's like multiple
people.
Okay, let's hear the top answer.
All right, Damien wants to hear it.
The top answer has been, and quite frankly, I would be shocked if it didn't remain to be Betty White.
I forgot Betty White was even dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go a direction. Maybe it's been said, maybe it's not, but I feel like this ghost would be not a maybe not the most frightening presence, and also maybe one that would be maybe somewhat would seem. Maybe you've seen him in this state before, so maybe or like it would remind you in this state before, and maybe it would be entertaining. So I would go with Robin Williams because I feel like I wouldn't be that scared of Robin Williams as a ghost. It reminded me of the genie from Aladdin, and he'd be very funny. Maybe a funny ghost. Maybe it'd be fun to be haunted by Robin Williams. It'd be better than probably a lot of other celebrities, but maybe it would be a fun time to have Robin Williams as a ghost to be vibing with him. So.
Good answer there. I think, man, the Betty White one threw me off. I was not ready for Betty White to be said. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Johnny Cash. I think that would just be really cool. I think I could. I'd love to like pick his brain and ask him so many questions. So I think Johnny Cash would be cool. Like. In a haunted house, like that'd be dope.
So I think Damien, you're the first person who's ever said Johnny Cash. So we can tack that on the board. Andrew, we have actually heard. So it goes Betty White, Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson. Did I say Billy Mays yet? I don't think I did.
No.
And I think we heard Robin Williams.
Okay.
Like once or twice. That's awesome.
We're getting consistent. I'm not the only one who thought that. Okay, good.
That is
It's
true.
good we're getting consistent answers with this
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we have a little bit of holiday trivia for you guys. We got 3 trivia questions to wrap things up today. So, first trivia question, and we are not giving multiple choice or true or false answers. This is a come up with your answer. So, first trivia question. What are the 2 other most popular names for Santa Claus?
Kris Kringle. Maybe.
Uh,
Saint Nick.
Those are the 2.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
you're talking with the trivia master. Drew dominates us in trivia. So
I'm good at trivia. I am good at this.
I'm really glad you're on my team. I don't think we're battling each other right now.
Remember emo trivia? Oh man, we were on a podcast and they did emo music trivia, and we went undefeated. Me, Damien, our bass player Mike.
What actor voiced 6 different roles in the holiday classic Polar Express?
Tom Hanks.
You got it.
Here we go. Here we go. You're good for something. I was good. I thought that would be too easy.
Hey! I pull my weight. All right.
Okay, and this one I'm almost certain is probably the easiest one on this list. Which Christmas song contains the lyric, "Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way"?
Damn, did we break him?
That's Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Oh,
That is correct.
Here we go.
Yes. Let's go. I was like, I know this part.
It always gets you when you're
Cool.
just thrown like one lyric, and it's like, wait, and then you have to sing the whole rest of the song to figure it out.
Yeah, I was no good there. I was like, what? More of a melody guy.
I know my
myself?
lyrics, right? I know my lyrics.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we have reached the end of the interview, and now we are going to do something that we try to do every episode. We've been kind of slacking on it. We've been trying to bring it back. So, I am a student at the University of Missouri St. Louis, and as such, I'm required to take a foreign language before graduating. I chose American Sign Language, and what we do is we learn how to sign or fingerspell the band name that we have on the show. So
Okay.
we're going to spell Felicity. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Take your dominant hand. All right? F. E. L.
That was easy.
I.
Oh, also easy.
There you go. C. I. T. Y.
Cool.
So let's go through it one more time. Yeah, everybody and their freaking mom did that whenever we first started learning ASL. Like, there were about 30 people in our class, and everyone was like, huh, why is like hang 10, bro?
You gotta do it. It's like it just happens.
Can't help it.
I can't control it.
It's instinctual. Okay, one more time. F. E. L. I. C. I. T. Y.
That was sweet.
Oh.
That was cool.
See, learned something new today.
That was really cool, honestly. Like, yeah, that was dope.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. This was a lot of fun. This has been an interview I've been wanting to do for a long time, so I'm happy it finally happened.
No, I'm glad we got to do it, and appreciate you guys having us on. And yeah, we had a blast too.
Thank you guys. Like, it was a pleasure. It was a ton of fun. Let's do it again.